One. All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Coleman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. I have my latest two guests. There's a duo in here. I'm going to say it's the first, but definitely maybe not the last. Okay, we have the likes of Siobhan and Ross Hubbard. Okay, they are from Newbard Farm in the lovely county of Portlarget. That's Waterford for those listeners further afield. And in on top of that, they produce the finest and the best of Irish pork. All right, say hello to the listeners, guys.
Hey all, how are we?
How you doing?
Thanks for coming on. And I brought you on, I suppose, to emphasize the fact of the produce and the, I suppose, service that you're providing to the locality. And I would love you, I suppose, to expand on where you maybe started and why you got into it.
Oh, I mean, we basically got into keeping a few pigs there. I know back in 2016, I believe it was. It basically kind of, it's ill health really. I was a little bit fat. Cholesterol was through the roof. I kind of decided I had to change the way things were, and so I decided to look into where the food came from, and that's what led me to get the pigs. Kind of realizing that quality.
He's getting a bit muffled. Well, should I take over, dear? Basically, we realized that what we were eating was making us sick, giving us health problems. Ross's cholesterol was through the roof. There goes the dogs with the dog bowl, knocking it over. Ross's cholesterol was through the roof. I suffered with hormonal problems. And when we had our daughter, we were told she was lactose intolerant. So we had a number of issues really health-wise within our family that made us look into our diets, our lifestyle, and I suppose the way we are today and the reason we are here today. As Ross said, he was a little bit overweight. His cholesterol was 19.6. Our doctor fell off the chair nearly and said that only for Ross was moving a lot, he would have had a heart attack or a stroke. So that made us look into his diet. Now, Ross doesn't like looking into things unless they revolve around animals because he's an ex-farmer. So he decided to look into the pig because they're monogastric like ourselves. So we're always told we're like pigs. So why not look into it? And that's what stemmed us. We bought a pig, we fattened the pig, we ate the pig. And after that, we kind of Ross went on the kind of, sorry, 1 second. Can you pause that for a second, Coleman? We have kid issues.
No problem at all, yeah. You can keep going if you want. You can keep going if you're just talking away. There's no problem.
Okay. Yeah. The joys of the farm, eh? And then we kind of, Ross kind of done a health check every 6 months while eating our own food. And slowly but surely it came down, you know. He went in for a hip operation there 5 months ago and his cholesterol was 6.3. So, and that was all through diet, pretty much. Our diet consists of all natural organic produce that we grow, all of it on the farm ourselves. And we have great farmers around us where we get our raw milk from, which we make butter and cheese from. We make our own jams, our own chutneys. Pretty much we don't buy anything in the shop, Coleman, because it's just not worth it. Well, people think we're mad because it's easier to go to the shop, but no, I don't know.
How about this, Siobhan? What's normal? Okay. And maybe the normal food isn't what we should be eating.
Well, I just don't believe that we should be spraying so many pesticides and herbicides on our food. It should be natural. We need our pests. Our pests pollinate our plants. You know what I mean? We have good pests, we have bad pests. We have good and evil in all walks of life. And that includes pests, you know. Yeah.
I'd love you, Siobhan, to tell me the difference, or tell even more so the listeners and the viewers of the point that what's the difference between your animals and or the animals that are, suppose, conventionally, produced?
Well, I'm not an expert, but what we do here is we rear our animals naturally. All our pigs are reared outdoors. They have a healthy, happy life, which we believe in turn gives us good quality pork. We grow a range of fodder for our animals. We grow black oats, pumpkins, beets, peas. We also connect with local grain farmers. So we bring in local organic grain from the farmers because we like to support local farmers. It's about being sustainable and I suppose keeping it local.
Try and keep it as close as possible.
Yeah, keep it as local as possible. Keep down the air miles, you know.
That's it. And for people then that tend to say that eating meat isn't sustainable, I would never agree with that statement myself, for the main reason that something that, let's say, for example, produced in the same county or in the island of Ireland couldn't be, I suppose, unsustainable, as opposed to comparable with something that's shipped halfway across the world, and then we say that all meat, lumping it in all together. We can't compare.
No, we can't. No.
Can't, no.
It's hard work, though. I will say that, Coleman, and that's probably what scares a lot of people, is the amount of work you put into it. You know what I mean? It's an everyday thing, 365 days a year. There's no break, you know. But that's what we will give up. We give up. It's a way of life. It's not a life. It's a way of life, farming, and we get good, healthy, quality food out of it. And touch wood, we haven't been back to the doctor since. Yeah,
Okay.
I believe that it's healthy for us, and it's healthy for the people that buy us, you know, and eat.
And that's it. And I suppose this podcast will be an emphasis on producing, getting, I suppose, more and more individuals coming to yourselves, such as producers of the best quality meat and anything else that's provided on the likes of the farm. Ross, what would your previous background have been, I suppose, growing up? Or would you always have been interested in, I'm going to say, producing your own meats and rearing, I suppose, different things on the farm?
Well, I grew up on a dairy farm, so yeah, I mean, long way from pigs, but you know, we kept a couple of pigs growing up, but not many. It's only as get rid of any over quota milk, you know, so tipping it down the drain, you used to get an old pig. But that's the only experience I had of pigs up until a few years ago, really. It's just something that it's just something we started off kind of a backyard. Anybody can keep pig in the backyard, right? And that's what we thought. So that's what we did. Maybe it's a little extreme this day and age, but hey, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the quality food you can get from it. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, an animal reared right is a healthy animal. A healthy animal is healthy for us. You know.
With that main point being food being medicine.
Well, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, the problem is with industrially produced meat. Especially pork. They don't see the outside. You know, they're not digging in the dirt. They're not getting all the good stuff out of the ground. And I believe that the balance of fats in a pig that's basically lived the life that they're supposed to live is the fats are all well balanced in that meat, whereas in some of the other pork, I believe it's a little bit out of whack, and it interferes with us then, you know, with the way that you know we need fat in our diets. You know, the brain's
It's
made
essential.
of fat.
We're actually made of fat.
Yeah.
There's a high percentage of our body made from fat. And in fact, we've lived and went through the likes of the 80s and the 90s where we told that fat is bad for us, that fat makes us fat. Actually, without it, okay, you cannot perform at optimum levels. It increases the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. And it's just about informing people of these exact nutritional facts and then saying, and informing them that these are the producers of high-quality produce. This is where you can most certainly get it. And just, I suppose, where do you supply to, or what's your, I suppose, range of products that you have in different stores or locations?
We sell directly from the house mainly, but we supply 5 local bakeries in Waterford and a restaurant in Waterford for their Sunday roast. Now, we can't meet the demand of some restaurants, and we won't get bigger to meet that demand. We will do what we can, and we will supply what we can, but in essence, the customers we do have would be bakeries mainly, and they take our pork mince to make their sausage rolls. And the feedback we get from that is unreal, you know. And every new customer we get, you know what I mean, comes back and says, "Oh my God, where have you been? You know what I mean? Why haven't I got pork like this?" And they ask us questions like, "What's the difference?" And where we see the difference in good quality red meat is the vitamins, the B12 and the B1. You cannot get that from any other source of anywhere. It has to come from meat, you know. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the nutritionist here. I'm not a nutritionist, but in my research, that's where it comes from. And when you top that up with organic vegetables, organic salads, and making stuff directly from your home, soups, salads, all of that, the joy we get out of going out picking our dinner from the garden is unreal. And we can do that on a daily basis. You know what I mean? And the variety we grow is unreal. Pumpkins up here for 3 months of the year. You know what I mean? My pigs thinks, I don't know. My sows love pumpkins. We grow pumpkins because they're a natural source of cucumin, and we use all natural sources of worming. So pumpkin seeds would be our winter worming. And we let all the weeds grow. And people say, why are you letting the weeds grow in your garden for? Do you realize what's in that weed?
I love that you
They're not
mentioned
weeds.
weeds, and I love that you mentioned the likes of the pumpkin seeds are also beneficial. So for people, just as ourselves, we're going to touch on the point of pumpkin seeds contain zinc. Zinc is good for your immune system. They're also a natural dewormer, so get the kids on them as well. And straight away,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? What's beneficial for us is beneficial for animals. We're all, I suppose, on the same page.
Well, even you know what I mean? We have herbs growing wild on our farm. We have chamomile, we have self-heal, we have St. John's wort, we have plantain, you know what I mean? Chicory, all of these things have different medicinal properties. And the animals know which ones they need, you know? It's like the sheep, they leave the foxgloves alone. They're poisonous. I can put my pigs into a field of pumpkins. They won't eat the leaves, they'll just eat the pumpkins. You know what I mean? So if they can work it out, why can't we?
Like, animals are extremely intelligent, and as a result of that, your animals are allowed to forage on that land. Just as Ross said, do you know what I mean? Healthy animals are meant to be outside, and that's exactly what you have on your farm.
They don't belong in a cage. No animal belongs in a cage. How can you say it's healthy and happy and you're getting quality anything from it when it does not live in a normal life? You know, it's like, you know, you lock us up in a cabin. What do we get? Well, they call it cabin fever.
And we go crazy.
And we go crazy. You know what I mean? We're also part of a One Well Pig project with Teagasc, and it's quite amusing the fact that they're coming out to us to learn how to rear pigs outdoors when they are probably, you know, they're pig scientists. They should know more than anybody, you know. But it's interesting because over the next 5 years, we're part of a focus group with the One Well Pig project, and we're trying to change the way pork is produced. You know what I mean? There's no over here, pork is pork, bacon is bacon, a sausage is a sausage. If people were to realize that most sausages come from 5 and 6 and 7 year old sows, and people say to me, Siobhan, why don't your sausages have that gristly bit in them? Oh, they don't, because they come from young, healthy, lean pigs, you know? It's it's knowledge. Knowledge is power. You know what I mean? And the more you know about what you're putting in your body, the healthier you'll be. You
Yeah.
are what you eat. I don't know who's saying that is, but it's the best one ever.
Yeah. And even you are what your animals most certainly consume as well. You are what you eat.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I
Okay.
love feeding my vegetables to the pigs because at the end of the day, I get tasty meat. You know what I mean? It is pure power what you're putting into them, and they love us. And you can tell they love us, you know? And they know when there's a pesticide on there because I've been given spuds from Aldi, organically certified spuds, you know? Maybe you shouldn't put that on there. They won't eat them.
Well, no, for the most part, you see, I'm delighted that your animals are so intelligent, and you're producing unbelievable meats, and most certainly providing it to the locality in where you're based right now. I'd love to even ask you, what are different things that you have incorporated on the farm to, I suppose, benefit either yourselves or bees or pollinators, or even for the pigs, such as the foxgloves? I know you've mentioned some of the weeds as well.
Well, we work on a rotation system. So because we don't use any chemicals or anything like that, we have to move our animals every 4 to 6 weeks. That then entails that they get fresh dirt, well, we plant ahead of them. So as our pigs move, we will plant oats, peas, the next crop, and that will grow for 6 to 12 weeks for the next set of pigs to come on it. So we have a constant rotation system for the pigs. We also, just to make people aware, we rear heritage breed pigs. So it's not your commercial pig that we rear. We rear Berkshire, OSB, which is Oxford Sandy and Black, and we cross them with the Tamworth Boar. And the reason we use those pigs is the marbling in the meat. The fat runs through the meat in a different way than your commercial pig. So you have that good saturated fat throughout the meat, which gives you the flavour throughout the meat. and you can render the fat for lard if you wanted. But again, that takes time.
Well, right now, do you have any, I suppose, fruit trees which are incorporated into the likes of the animals' feed or anything along the lines of that?
We have apple trees, we have pear trees. We only moved here 5 years ago, so we're restarting again. You know what I mean? We have about 34 acres in total. About 34 acres in total. 16 acres of that is natural woodland. So our pigs get to forage in the woodland a lot. Now the only problem we have there is deer. Venison wreck our fences. So we're constantly chasing pigs through the woods. But yeah, you'll have to come out and take a video. It can be quite fun. You'll have to come out and visit us, Coleman.
Oh, I definitely will. And I'd even recommend you, if you're not already planned already, doing the likes of, I'm going to say, a feast festival where you either have people come out to the farm and they would be able to sample some of your produce. There would be, I suppose, a fee for the individuals who come out. And there's different farms across Ireland doing that right now. It's one way of most certainly getting people to sample your produce. In on top of that, finding a location where they can come on a regular basis to buy your produce. But not only that, to have an experience on the farm. A lot of people have lost touch where food has actually come from. And even you've mentioned it on the show, there's individuals who are qualified with whatever degrees that they certainly have, coming out into the farm and saying, do you mind if you teach us a small bit about what's actually going on here right now? And we'd be happy to have you a part of this project. Isn't that amazing?
It has. It's helped us kind of push pork forward as not a commodity, as a good quality meat. You know, you've got your standard for lamb, you've got your standard for beef. There's no standard for pork. And that's why we want to kind of push the standard for pork, because pork is a good quality meat. A lot of people see it as a dirty meat. And I can see why people see it as a dirty meat. When a pig is reared indoors and it's fed nothing but whatever it is they feed, you know, and they inject it, they give it antibiotics, all of this is going into the pig, you know what I mean? That means we're eating that. So that's another reason why we don't do it that way, and we do it the way we do it, because we know there's no antibiotics in there, there's no medicines in there. All of our grain is grown organically, all of our vegetables are grown organically. So every bit of food that goes into those pigs is organically grown with nothing on it. So we know what we're eating, you know. And our customers, when they come up to the farm, and if they want a farm tour, it can take either 10 minutes because they're scared of the pigs, or it can take 3 hours. So we give a lot of time to our customers so they can see where their food is coming from. You can get in with most of our pigs and pat them on the head. Some people don't like doing that, but other people want, as you said, want to see where their food is coming from. We've helped loads of other local producers that want to rear their own pigs for their freezer. They'll come up and ask us, how are you doing it? What are your secrets? We'll tell them. Why not? You know what I mean? And if they want to go and start up their own business, let them go ahead, because there's room for loads of people. Competition is healthy, I believe. You know what I mean? And the more people doing what we're doing, Coleman, I think the message will get out there a lot stronger, and people will see that it's a way of life and it's a good way of life. But it's just trying to switch that kind of person's mind from easy, ready meals that you can just go ding. That's, you know.
And that's what we're trying to come away from. And the whole idea of it is we're informing people, the right type of people who are looking to improve their health, because it's easy to most certainly, and to pick those convenient foods that are in the petrol stations, that are in the shops, that are at discounted prices, but there's nothing convenient about being unhealthy. And Ross is a testament to that. His cholesterol levels and his weight has dropped, and as a result of that, he's healthier and happier as a result of that. Am I right in saying that, Ross?
Yep, definitely.
He doesn't like talking on these things.
That's okay. That's all right. You can just think, Ross, there's only the three of us here. Ross, are there things that you have most certainly learned as, I suppose, of starting up your own farm in the likes of the Lismore area, that you'd even pass on to other people to say that this is what I've learned and these are things that you wish you knew at the start?
Things I wish I knew at the start. There's a lot, too much there, I think.
We're still learning.
We're still learning, you know.
Every day is a school day.
I mean, you're permanently changing, we're permanently evolving. So don't be fixed in any set ways, because try something. If it don't work, move on and try something else, you know. Not, I mean, look, one of the things we were told when we first moved up here was, you're getting pigs. Feck's sakes, what are you getting pigs for? Get the sheep. Do what everyone else is doing. You're on the flaming mountain, Of course, I'm a bit too stubborn to listen to them, and I just carried on with the pigs. But
yeah, but look at you now. You see, you have to take sometimes a step in a direction where other people haven't went if you want a different result. Because too many people follow like sheep. There's a great example. Just happened to come in to the next to that sentence. Following like sheep, and you went a different way. You went and set up your own pig farm, and now are literally reaping the rewards, not only, I suppose, in setting up your own business, but also your own health, which is a major part to life. Okay, because everyone, as we age, we're looking to improve on our health, even if it's by just 1%. Because when we get to a certain age, we'd nearly give away all the money that we currently have just to be as healthy as we possibly can. Because we either have kids, we either have grandkids, we have friends and family members that we want to spend time with, and you can't do that if you're lying 6 foot under in a coffin, for that matter. No.
You're lost for words, Ross, aren't you?
Oh, it's given plenty, I suppose, insight to the likes of what's going on the farm with yourselves. And was it something that you always thought about, or was it by luck that you got into, I suppose, the industry of producing pork?
Purely by chance, really. I mean, and as I said, we started rearing a pig because of ill health. Well, to try and improve what we were eating, anyways. Then we left where we were, moved to new fresh pastures newer, so to speak. So there's a gap where there was no pigs, and everyone kept asking me, "Oh, when are you going to have some pork? When are you going to have some pork? When are you going to have some pork?" So I figured I'd best chuck some pigs in the field, and it's just kind of started, really. It's only went to be a sow for us and a couple extra for sale, but then demand has just grown and grown, and so we just added more and more pigs.
We kind of launched the business in August 2021.
Yeah.
And throughout COVID, we were very busy because obviously everybody was locked down. So we had a pork subscription box throughout COVID. So we were very busy at that point. And then it kind of shifted as things changed and as businesses started to open again. We were approached by Seagull Bakery, Dune Bakery in Dungarvan, the 360 Cookhouse. So they're who we supply at the minute. And they just loved our meat, and it sold really well. So we've kind of gone more to the wholesale side of things. We still do the pork subscription box, but we have for kind of a set few customers. We have to get bigger in order to supply more, which we can't do that organically unless we get more land, we get bigger, you know what I mean? And that's not what we're about. We don't want to be a big commercial entity. We want to just supply local people with local food, We don't sell outside of 100 kilometers. We sell everything within 100 kilometers. Yeah. So that's us keeping it kind of as sustainable as we can, and local. It's just, and as I said, we're evolving all the time. We've just taken on another heritage breed sow because we believe we can actually get it better. We thought we had it, but we think we can get it better. So the next lot of bacon coming from us is coming from a completely different breed that we haven't even tried before. So we're jumping back in the deep end again, going, we can make this better. And looking at the breed, we've had a little bit of pork off it. It's absolutely fabulous. I can't wait to taste the bacon, So at the minute, we have very low stock because we want to kind of try this new thing. But it's not really new. We've just gone 100 years back again from the breed that we had, because if it worked 100 years ago, you know what I mean, and it'll work now, and if we can do and what they did 50 to 100 years ago and get the pig to kind of live its proper life, its full life, happy and healthy, we'll get good quality meat. We didn't have all this illness many years ago. We've brought in low fat this and what is that? What was margarine? That was, well, the research I have learned from lovely Google is that we invented margarine to fatten turkeys. When it didn't work on turkeys, we gave it to the humans. What was that about?
Well, I'm going to tell you, eating real whole foods, whether it's from pork or anything else that's literally fed off the land or grown in the soil, is going to be beneficial to us. That will be my ethos and something that I wrote about in the book, The Power of Organic Fitness, that I wrote last year. And that will forever and always stay and stand to that statement. So I want you even to tell me, what would you say to individuals who say that meat is bad or it's unsustainable?
Yeah, you've got to stay polite.
Um,
What would you say, Ross?
Oh God.
I can't say what I'd say.
Um,
No, I mean, look, I mean, meat is sustainable. I mean, we've been eating it for as long as we've been around. I mean, at the end of the day, meat used to be a prized thing. Why was it prized if it was bad for us? You know, why did the hunter gatherers prize the meat if it was just going to kill us in horrible ways? We prized it because it was essential to us. We need the nutrition out of it. We need the fats out of it. So, you know, get over yourself, and that's facts. You know, we can't change how we've evolved to be, and we have evolved to eat meat. You know, maybe not to the extreme as some people do, but we certainly need a certain amount of good quality meat in our diet. You know,
And high quality produce is what we're looking for. You see, we can't compare the likes of poor quality meats to fresh, I suppose, produce such as yourselves. And I suppose even to tell the listeners that wouldn't have too much of an insight into the relation of how long does it take for from day old piglets to the likes of when they are culled for produce.
it'd be usually between 8 and 10 months is where we're aiming for.
Yeah.
That's generally. I mean, summer months you can finish them a little bit quicker, being straight, because it's warmer.
It's warmer.
You're feeding the pig, not keeping them warm with the feed. You know. But
Well, I have no problem with people not eating meat. You know what I mean? That's their personal choice. But I don't see it as sustainable. To me, again,
it is sustainable if they only eat
local.
local seasonal produce. It is sustainable not to eat meat. That's their choice. But you know, to be importing something from halfway across the world over to here, you know, all those air miles for your avocado because you don't want to eat a bit of meat. You know, I know it might be a bit out of touch there, but
I don't know.
but I mean, ultimately, I mean, all of it, we try and get all of the feed for our pigs within 100 kilometers of here, and we sell our meat within 100 kilometers of here. So there's no real miles on that meat, you know.
No.
No, and that's something that a lot of people wouldn't have ever heard before, or even knew that existed. And that's what this is about. You were informing people that it literally can be produced so locally and so sustainably in the manner that you're doing. And when you're saying that you don't want to increase the volume of produce that you have on your farm right now, what you can turn into is educators. Okay, you can bring people onto the farm, which you're currently doing right now, and teach people how to do it. Because you said there are people who come from other counties and we listen to the likes of this podcast and we'll go, my God, I must go down to Siobhan, I must go down to Ross and learn all that they're after really learning, all the mistakes. And the quote that comes to mind is one of those things: geniuses, no more so, intelligent people learn from their mistakes, but geniuses learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Because everybody makes mistakes, but you don't have to make someone else's mistakes. They'll teach you and they'll pass on all the tricks of the trade, if most certainly that they want to learn and do it and set up a different that enterprise in a different county anywhere in the, I suppose, the Green Isles.
We've got so many good food producers in Waterford. You know what I mean? There's so many of them, but they're just hidden away. You know what I mean? It's about trying to get them to come out a little bit more. It's like within 10 miles of us, I know of 5 road, you know what I mean? And they've got their little honesty stall at the bottom of their drive. You know, it's brilliant. We need more of that. We need, you know what I mean? I'm not saying close down the supermarkets. Some people need, you know, you still need your supermarkets, but we just need more locally food produced and produced in a more sustainable, ethical way. Not, you know what I mean? The way they're doing it these days, it just doesn't work. In my eyes, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, credit to you. Credit to the two of you guys that are after teaming up together, after setting up a family farm in the county of Waterford, in Lismore. And now that as a result of recording this podcast, more and more people are most certainly going to know about you guys. And again, the whole emphasis is to get more people to improve their health, because that's what you're doing. You're as good as doctors. You're giving people medicine. You're giving them food, which is medicine. And I suppose I want you to tell the likes of the listeners, where's the best place for them to contact you directly and or get their hands on the best goddamn pork, grass-fed, organically raised, you betcha.
We have a Facebook, Instagram profile. You can go on our website. We have mobile numbers on the website. Give us a call, give us a text. You know what I mean? If you want to come up and see the farm, we can certainly arrange that. You know what I mean? Evenings and weekends are best for us because obviously we have the day-to-day jobs on the farm, and we have we'll be cutting hay this weekend, hopefully. A bit late, but we need to get it down.
Yeah. Well,
but
fair play to you.
Instagram is usually our busiest one.
The best place to go. Yeah, but I'll be putting all those in the show notes. Put your Instagram, your Facebook, and your most certainly website that they can either contact you directly or they can call up to the likes of the farm. All right. Thanks so much, Ross and Siobhan Hubbard, for coming on to most certainly this week's podcast. And I always end these shows by saying stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.